Hi friends, hello, how are we today? How is everybody? How are we doing? I thought that today do some visualization, imagination stuff. I'm gonna do some visual hand movements, but you are more than welcome to close your eyes. You're not going to be missing much at all. I'm just going to give you some scenes, and I want you to imagine them in your brain. Some of them are going to be more silly things that don't really exist in real life, and some of them will be scenarios. Some of them will be scenarios. S-C-E. I'm trying to remember how to spell scenario. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that second E was in there. I feel like I can spell stuff so much better when I am writing it out. If I don't write it out, I can't see the word and see if it looks correct. So it's harder for me to spell. Sometimes people ask me how to spell things, and I'm like, hold on. Let me get a piece of paper. I feel like that's kind of how I think in general. I definitely prefer to write things out. I did not write this video out, so we'll see how it goes. But especially in college, the beginning of college, by the end I was way more comfortable speaking in class. But it was a lot easier for me to write essays than come up with a thought in class, because things tend to just make more sense to me written when they're coming from my own brain. But I think that makes sense, seeing as how one of my main hobbies and things I enjoy to do is write. It would make sense that that's what works better for me. I'm gonna do some glasses tapping. But yeah, I just want you to relax. I want you to just listen. If you want to not imagine the scenario and just let the words wash over you, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you'd like to participate, you can do that as well. Alright, so the first thing I want you to imagine is your dream house. Your dream house. DREAMHouse. Dream house. Where is your dream house? Is it in a city? Or is it in the countryside? Is it in a specific state or country or area of the world? Is it near water? And if it is near water, is it near the ocean? Is it near a river? Is it near a lake or a pond? Or even just a little tiny creek? A little once you've done that, once you've landed the location, I want you to think of the type of house, of the style of house. Do you want something very modern? Or would you like to buy a historic house? Something kind of in the middle? Would you like a more Victorian look? I love Victorian houses. I think they are so, so beautiful. In the story I'm writing right now, it takes place in a very haunted, very old, run-down Victorian house in California. I wouldn't say that a haunted, run-down house is exactly my dream house, but I would definitely live in a Victorian. But if you don't want a Victorian, what else are we thinking? Maybe just a suburban house, something contemporary, but not too out there. That's totally okay too. Some people don't really want to stand out, and that's alright. If we all tried to stand out, the world would be a very annoying place. So, what is your dream style? What kind of house? Is it multiple floors? Does it have 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 floors? Or is it just a ranch and just has 1 floor? 1 floor. What are you thinking? Alright. So we have our house. We have its location. What color is your house? Or, more importantly, what color is your front door? What color is your front door? The house I grew up in had a purple front door, and I loved being able to tell people that I lived in the house with the purple door. With the purple door. Purple door. So what color is your door? What color is your front door? I feel like the front door is the first impression people get of you and your house. It's what everyone walks through when they come in. It's what everyone walks through. So what color is it? What color do you think represents you? Who lives in this house with you? Is it just you? Do you have friends, a partner, maybe multiple partners, or family members, older family members, or younger family members? Do you have pets? What do you think? How many bedrooms is this house going to need? How many bedrooms? I feel like it's always safer to go for maybe more than you need, because you never know if you'll have guests or if the number of people you live with would grow unexpectedly. So what do you think? How many people are living with you? How many bedrooms do you have in this dream house? I definitely like to live alone for a little bit. Not forever, but just for a little bit. I think it would be nice. But also, I don't know if I'd want to live alone in a house, you know. I think I'd rather live alone in an apartment, because then if anything happens, I know there are other people in the building. But in a house, I'd like to live with a partner and pets. I'd love to get several dogs. house have any special rooms? Any special rooms, and by that I mean something that is not a bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, or a bathroom, or an office. So, thinking something like a movie theater, or a gaming room, or an indoor pool, or an art studio, or what else? You could get really funky with it. You could get really creative. You could have a room dedicated to a collection with just many places to display your collection. You could have a music room, maybe build a stage in it. The sky is the limit. You could have an indoor jungle gym or a ropes course or something. You could also have a library. You could have a room just for the pets, whatever you want. And finally, what does your house smell like? What does your dream house smell like? Does it smell like fresh baking or something cooking? Or does it smell very clean and fresh, like someone's just been in to clean? Or does it smell like candles or incense? Does it smell sweet or fruity? Does it have an herby smell or something savory, something muskier, something not quite so sweet? What do you think? What do you think? What does your dream house smell like? I feel like smell is very important. Does it have sort of that old bookstore smell? Does it have the smell of fresh laundry? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? So, that is our dream house. Obviously, it's not all the pieces to it, but I think if we went through and decorated every single room, that would get a little boring. So, we're gonna move on from our dream house. I'm gonna go kind of in a different direction. We're going to be making up some animals. So I'm going to give you sort of, it has the head of this and the body of this and the color of this. And I want you to build that animal in your head. I want you to build that animal in your head. I want you to build that animal in your head. So, our first animal has the head of a cat. That's the head of a cat. It can be a big cat or a small cat. Whatever you're thinking, whatever popped into your head, but it has the head of a cat. And on that head, it has the ears of an elephant. It has elephant ears on a cat's head. And moving further down, has the neck of an ostrich. It has the neck of an ostrich that is somehow holding up the cat's head and the elephant ears. It's the neck of an ostrich. And it has the body of a panda. So the ostrich neck sort of morphs seamlessly into the panda body. But it's kind of a jarring change. Seamless or not, going from the skinny ostrich neck to the big panda body, it's a little surprising. So, it's got panda body, and also we'll let it keep its panda legs and arms, because we want to make sure this animal is sturdy. We want to make sure that it's sturdy. And we'll give it, since it has an ostrich neck, we'll give it some ostrich wings on its back. And it's probably flightless, because it's a very oddly shaped animal. It's not exactly aerodynamic, but it still has wings. Maybe something that's left over from evolution. I don't know, like a prehensile tail or an appendix. And at the very end, since it has a cat's head, it will have a cat's tail. So, we have the shape of this animal, and I think that it would only be fair to the elephant ears if this animal were gray. However, I think that it would be incredibly disturbing if it had elephant skin. So, I'm gonna make it fluffy. I think it should be fluffy, furry, but it is gray to match the elephant ears. So, how did your animal turn out? Is it one you'd like to meet in real life? I think those are all animals that kind of, maybe ostrich aside, kind of have alright dispositions most of the time. I feel like it might be a nice animal to meet. Let's go again. Alright, so this next animal has the head of a koala. It has the head of a koala. You can imagine it eating eucalyptus leaves. And then, instead of the cute little fuzzy koala ears, it has giraffe ears and giraffe horns. It has giraffe horns, those two little horns with the kind of fuzzy bulbous tops. It's a weird way of describing them, but that is what is on top of our koala head. That's what's on top of our koala head. But this koala giraffe hybrid has the body of a chimpanzee. But it doesn't go all the way down, because halfway through, the body of the chimpanzee changes into the tail of a snake. And that is how this animal gets wraps around. Think like a centaur. So like the torso is upright, but it's slithering with the back end of the tail. But it's slithering with the back end of the tail. And I think that the snake tail should be red, black, and yellow. But you can decide if it's the snake of a corn snake, just kidding, a milk snake, or what's the poisonous one? There's one that's poisonous, and there's one that's not poisonous. And you can decide because the rhyme goes, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the rhyme too. This is so embarrassing. 8-year-old me was so into snakes. I think that it is red to yellow, kill a fellow. Red to black, venom lack. So, if your stripes have red and yellow next to each other, that means that it is the poisonous one. And if the snake stripes have red and black next to each other, you've picked the and I'm saying poisonous and I mean venomous. You've picked the non-venomous one. But that is your decision. How dangerous do you want this animal to be? But the torso and the head of this animal are going to be brown. They're going to be brown. So it's a brown head, ears, horns, body, and then a red, black, and yellow tail. Alright, now we're going to do another scenario. And in this one, you're being abducted by aliens. But I don't want you to worry if being abducted by aliens is something that worries you. These are very kind aliens. They're just curious. They're not going to hurt you. And they will return you before daybreak. They will return you before daybreak. So, you're laying in bed. You suddenly feel yourself floating up, up, up. Your window opens, and you go floating through the window, and you go up, up, up into the sky. You're floating in a beam of light. And what color is that beam of light? Floating up, up, up. And you can't see beneath you. You're not afraid of how high up you are. You're just floating very gently. You enter through the open door of a spaceship above the clouds. And you are lowered softly on to something that resembles a couch. It resembles a couch. You can either be laying down on it or you can be sitting up. It's very comfortable, but you are trying to take in your surroundings. Through the door walks one alien, and I want you to think about what color this alien is. Is it a neutral color? Is it a vibrant color? Is it multiple colors or just monochrome? What do you think? Is this alien bipedal like us? Or does it walk differently? Does it have multiple legs, more than 2 legs? Or does it have no legs at all? Or does it float? Or does it crawl across the floor? This alien greets you, explains who it is. This alien is a visitor from a faraway planet, and they want to take you to see their planet just for the night, and they will return you before daybreak. Before daybreak. They just want to know about humans, and they'd like to have a conversation with you about what it's like living on Earth. And while they do that, they're more than welcome. They're more than willing to show you around. To show you around their planet. Because they're quite proud of their planet. And you say yes. You say, why not? You say, as long as you return me unharmed, I'd love to go see another planet. I'd love to go see it. So, the alien is happy, and you're excited. And another alien comes into the room. This one has a similar body type to the first one, but it looks slightly different. Maybe it has one more or one less leg. Maybe it's a slightly different color scheme. Maybe it's a little rounder or a little more angular, or has a slightly bigger head. It's definitely the same species, but we all know how much humans differ, and I think it would be kind of ridiculous if all aliens looked exactly the same. Are these aliens wearing any clothes? Or is that not a thing in their culture? Are they wearing any clothes? And if they are, what kind of clothes are they wearing? Does it look like human clothes? Is it something like pants and a shirt and a jacket? Or is it something more flowy? Does it look like it's made out of fabric or something else altogether? Maybe metal or smoke or plants or wood or something gauzy and floaty. What do you think? What are these clothes made out of? So, this second alien brings you some food to eat. It's just a little bit. They're not expecting you to eat a whole meal, but they want you to feel like you're receiving some kind of hospitality. So it's a drink and a little snack. What kind of drink is it? Is it hot or cold? Is it sweet or sour or something like coffee? Is it creamy? Is it clear? Is it thick or is it watery? What do we think? And this snack, is it something like a cake? Is it something like chips or meat or a bowl of something like a soup or rice or a noodle? What do you think? Is it crunchy? Is it soft? Is it fruit? Is it a vegetable? What kind of snack is it, and does it taste good? Or are you a little bit unsure? Or are you a little bit unsure? I'd like to think that it tastes good. but who knows, you've never tried it before. And so, while you're enjoying your snack, the ship takes off across the galaxy. It moves unbelievably quick. It moves so fast. And within minutes, you are across the galaxy, approaching a planet. Now, we know what Earth looks like. Does this planet look like Earth? Or does it look different? What color is it? Is it bigger than Earth or smaller than Earth? Can you see continents and water, or does it all appear to be kind of uniform? Does this planet have rings like Saturn? Does it have a moon or multiple moons? What do you think? The ship descends through the air and lands on top of a hill, and the aliens walk out with you. You're in a landscape. You're in a natural landscape of this planet. What does it look like? What does it look like? Does it look like it could be somewhere on Earth? Or is it something totally unfamiliar to you? Does it have blue plants growing out of the ground? Or winding, swirling rock formations? Or little tiny creeks running through the ground that you have to step over? What does it look like? Are there large tree-like figures surrounding you? Are they trees? Are they something else? You walk through this landscape. What's the temperature? It's something comfortable, but is it cool? Is it warm? You're comfortable in your pajamas walking through, but does it feel summery or wintry? Is there wind blowing? Is there anything coming from the sky? Is there fog or a haze? Or is the sky super clear? Can you see their sun? Can you see their sun in the sky? Or is it being blocked by something? Can you see the star that gives them life? These aliens ask you questions about Earth. They ask you what your landscapes are like, and what your animals are like, and if you are afraid walking through your landscapes or if they're peaceful. Ask you what your favorite part about Earth is. And then they take you to their city. These buildings are very different from the buildings that you've seen before. They're very, very different. And how are they different? Are they rounded? Are they organic shapes that might not be super organic to these aliens? Are they floating? Are they sunken into the ground? What do you think? Are they all connected? Do they form one large structure? Or are they a bunch of little separate structures that the aliens walk between to get to where they want to go? What does this city look like? Are there roads? Are there vehicles? Do these aliens get around on something other than foot? Are the roads paved with asphalt, or do they just look like the ground? Or are they paved with something else? Are they metal? Are they rock? Are they stone? Are they sand or something else altogether? What do the roads look like? The aliens ask you about your cities. They ask you, what do your buildings look like? They ask you what kind of places you have in cities, what kind of stores and shops and places to visit. They ask you how big your cities are and how they differentiate between them. How is Tokyo different than New York? How is London different from Paris? What do you think? What do you think? They ask you so many questions. They ask you, what about cars? They ask you about bicycles. They've heard a little bit about Earth, but they don't know very much. They ask you about the people, about what kind of people live in cities and what they do in cities and how they live. Do they live together? Do they live alone? And they tell you about their aliens. They tell you about their people. And tell about what kind live in the cities. And do they live together? Do they live alone? What do they say? They take you into a little shop so you can get some souvenirs. And this little shop sells small things. Sells small things. And what kind of things does it sell? Does it sell rocks or art or sculptures or things that seem to be toys? Does it sell decor or plates or technology of some sort? Does it feel futuristic or does it feel rustic? What kind of aliens are these? Do they have more of a natural rustic vibe to them, or are they the high-tech aliens we tend to imagine? What do you think? What's in this store? And what do you buy to take home with you? The aliens offer to buy you one thing to take back to Earth. What do you take? Do you take a piece of their art, or a piece of their technology, or a piece of their food or clothing? Do you try and find a photograph or something adjacent to a postcard? Do you try and find a children's toy or a book? If they have books, do they have books? What do you think? What are you letting the aliens buy for you? They make their purchase, the alien, at the front desk, or their version of a front desk is very kind. They look similar to the aliens from the ship, but they look slightly different, slightly different. Just like the aliens from the ship look from each other. Maybe this one is a little bit taller, or a little bit shorter, or has a different number of eyes, or a differently shaped nose, or maybe larger ears. How does this alien differ from the ones you've met already? And then the aliens tell you that you're running out of time on the planet and that we should get back to the ship so that you can get back home before daybreak. You follow them back out through the city. You follow them through the landscape and back onto the ship, where you sit down back on the couch and they bring out some more refreshments for you. Is it the same ones as last time? Do you want something different, or do you want to try the same thing again? And then the ship lifts off and you talk with the first alien because the second one is driving the ship. And you ask them if they'd ever come back, and you guys can do this again, or you can show them around Earth. And they ask about your schedule and when you might be free. And when they land you back in your bed, in your house, and the sun isn't even up yet, you guys have plans for next month. They're gonna come back and you're gonna show them around Earth. And then the month after that, they'll take you back to their planet and show you some other things. And maybe sometime you could take off of work, tell your friends you're going on a vacation, and spend the night there and explore the new planet a little bit more. And next time, you should bring a camera. So, that is the end of our video. I hope you had a good time.